Welcome back, eSIM Studios, episode number 24. Kobe!
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Alright, thank you for joining us. As I mentioned, this is eSIM Studios daily live stream, podcast, whatever you want to call it. We are live. We do run a daily technology focused live stream every day. Try to every day. I think I've only missed, out of the last 24 episodes, I think I missed like 2 or 3 days, and that's partly because my mom's in the hospital, but we try to do it every day. What do you know? I got a phone call right now. Give me a second. Alright, give me just 1 second. I apologize. It's like nothing goes on in the day, and then when I hit live, I get calls from the hospital. I mean, it's my mother, but you know what I'm saying. It's just ironic that nothing in the beginning of the day, and then right when I hit live, all this shit happens. So I gotta go run and grab something. Piece of pay. Anyways, give me a second. Literally about 20 seconds. Okay, hang on. And then we'll get started. I got really big news. Especially if you have a T-Mobile Samsung device. You're going to want to hear this. I can promise you that. Bear with me. I'm gonna have to edit this part out after the live ends, but it is all good. It is all good. Whew. Okay, got some big news here. Pardon me. Let me get situated. All right, let's get started. I have some big news, right, for Samsung devices. I came across, and you're going to want to do this if you have a T-Mobile Samsung. Now, this works for the S24 series, whether it's an S24, S24 Plus, or S24 Ultra, specifically from T-Mobile. Now, you can try this with other carriers. However, I have a unlocked Samsung S24 Ultra right here, and I have a T-Mobile S24 Plus right here. Now, if you financed the device, meaning I basically got this one for free, right? So if you trade in any device, T-Mobile has a special where if you trade in like basically any, I think it was up or down to like a S8. If you trade in an S8, which I got on eBay for like $40, they'll give you $1,000 towards a S24 series. So this is $1,000. So I traded this in, right? We did the whole trade-in deal. I showed y'all how to properly, and I'll link this in the description. If you have not seen the video, I show you how to send your trade-in back to the carrier, but do it properly. So if it gets lost in the mail or they say it has a broken screen, I show you how to CYA, cover your ass, so you don't get charged, right? So I can unlock this phone, or I can show you how to network unlock this phone, free of charge, and all it takes is about 30 seconds. Now, here's the catch though. You're going to want to do it quick because I think they're going to patch this, which ties into some other, one of our other stories that we have for you here, because the February, I guarantee you this will be patched with this February update, the security patch for the S24 series, and we do have a date now as far as when that update is going to be pushed to your device, but it's here, it's coming pretty quick. So if you have a T-Mobile, Samsung S24, S24 Plus, or S24 Ultra, perform this procedure to network unlock your device, and this is for life. This is not a temporary unlock. This will unlock it for life. I just did it and it works, right? Now I was going to record it and do a video about it, but I was like, well shit, I don't want to record it if it doesn't work. But it worked. So here's what you're going to do. And again, it's for T-Mobile. It's basically a glitch. Every now and then you'll see, and I mean every now and then, maybe once every year or two, not even that, probably once every 2 or 3 years, you'll see a glitch like this in the software, in the code of the software in the phone, right? So now this will network unlock your device even if it's financed, because what they did is they gave me $1,000 towards this phone, but they basically zero it out on your bill for 24 months. So technically, I cannot unlock this phone. It's tied to my T-Mobile account, and then in 24 months, it'll be eligible to unlock. Well, what if I don't want to wait 24 months? As you can tell, let me change I've been testing it. Let me change the view here. Check this out. Look at all these SIM cards I got. So I have Sprint, but that's basically T-Mobile. I have Verizon. I have at&t. I have Google Fi. I have another Verizon, and I have an at&t. I tested all of these SIM cards. After you perform this unlock on your device, all these SIM cards will work. Any SIM card in the world. And again, if your device is financed, they will not let you unlock it. So if you have a T-Mobile, Samsung, specifically S24, S24 Plus, or S24 Ultra, do this right away. Let's get into it real quick. I wanted to include this in I was going to make an individual video about this, but I was like, well, I'm about to hit live anyways, so let's just talk about it. Now, I don't know if it'll work for any other. I think it's very specific just for a T-Mobile S24 series, right? I don't think a T-Mobile A54, I don't think that would work. It specifically is a glitch in the code in this software, but it works, and I'm about to show you. So very interesting. I came across this article, and it says, unlock your T-Mobile Samsung phone early if you take advantage of this rule-breaking glitch. T-Mobile and Samsung will likely patch this pretty quickly, so act fast. And I saw this article, I was like, what the hell? So I was like, well, I don't know, what the hell, let me try it. You know, I basically, it doesn't hurt your phone if you try to unlock it. So I was like, let's do it. So they're claiming, Android Authority, thank you, I'm gonna at you in the description of this video, and I'll link this in the description as well, but you can also just follow along with me right now because I'm going to show you how to do it. It takes 30 seconds. So they're saying a strange glitch is allowing users to network unlock T-Mobile Samsung phones. The glitch appears to work regardless of your phone status with T-Mobile, essentially allowing you to bypass network unlock restrictions. The glitch will undoubtedly be fixed soon. Now, this is not... T-Mobile cannot... Look, I used to unlock phones in the past. It doesn't work this way. T-Mobile cannot just lock your device remotely unless you do not pay your bill. Now, after you unlock it and you you still have to pay your bill. It's not like you can unlock it and then just not pay your T-Mobile bill. If this is financed, if you got this with a trade-in, if they zeroed out the amount for this but spread it out over 24 months as far as bill credits, you're still going to have to pay your T-Mobile bill or they will block it. But being as said, right, if you unlock, like me, we have a T-Mobile and this is on our plan. If I unlock it now but I just continue paying our plan, I can still use this phone with any carrier. They're not going to lock this unless you do not pay your bill. But if you pay, but again, they zero it out on your bill anyway, so it's basically free. Let's get into it because I read through everything and I did these steps. So, but as always, it says, what does it say? This is absolutely a violation of your terms to service with T-Mobile. Well, screw you, T-Mobile. Here's what we're gonna do. Go to, very simple, right? Check this out. So follow along with me. I'm going to link this in the description, but here's what you do. So, get your T-Mobile phone out and go to settings. Once you go to settings, what you're going to want to do is go to connections. So select connections. You can be on Wi-Fi, you can be on data, it does not matter. Go to settings, connections, and then scroll all the way down for more connection settings. Select that. Scroll all the way down to network unlock. Select that. Now, what does mine say? Damn, my focus is just horrible. There we go. It says network lock status is unlocked. I unlocked this device, but here's what you do. So after you go to settings, after you go to connections, and then you go to more connection settings, you scroll down to network unlock, right? What you're going to do is you're going to select, here's the process. You're going to select temporary unlock. And it says, are you sure? And you hit yes. Takes a few seconds. And then it'll say, okay, now you're temporary unlocked. Then what you do is simply restart your device after you've gotten permission for a temporary unlock. So we'll reboot it. We'll let it get up to par, right? We'll let it jump back into the operating system. And then once it gets back into the operating system, you're going to go back into that same setting. So let me show you. Okay, so you are rebooted now, right? Is it not focused again? Man, what the hell is going on? You're really messing up my stream here. It's a little better. Go to settings, after you reboot. Go to connections, go down to more connection settings, scroll down all the way again down to network unlock, and then this time you're going to select permanent unlock. So you'll select permanent unlock. It'll ask you, are you sure? You hit yes or okay, and it'll say, okay, you're now permanently unlocked. And then after that, you simply restart your device again. After you restart your device, after it reboots into the operating system, to the home screen, you're free to use any SIM cards you want. It is unlocked for the life of the device. And we'll test it. We'll test it. Watch. When it comes back up, I'll throw in some SIM cards real quick. Man, I gotta fix this lighting. What the hell is going on? Let's try this. Let me just turn this overhead light off. I think that's messing it up. That looks cool. Is that better? No, a little better. I'll turn the light back on once we get done with this. Okay. So now you're back into the home screen. Let's test it out. Okay. Remember, this is a T-Mobile device. You saw the lock screen, the boot animation. So, T-Mobile SIM, yes, okay. So let's try AT&T. AT&T, kind of see it. I'll slap that in there, just like that. It's already picked up service. Well, it doesn't have the SIM card is not active, but the phone recognizes it as a AT&T SIM card, right? Look. AT&T. If the device was locked, network locked, it would say SIM card not supported. Please call T-Mobile to unlock your phone, what have you. So AT&T works. Now let's try Verizon. If y'all are just joining us, I'm showing you I'm walking y'all through how to perform a network unlock on a T-Mobile Samsung Galaxy S24 series. Whether it's S24, S24 Plus, or S24 Ultra, there's a glitch in the software of these T-Mobile Samsung Galaxy S24 series devices that allow you to permanently unlock the device, whether it's paid off or not. Even if this is on a contract, even if this is on a payment plan where they spread it out over 24 months, this glitch will network unlock your device so you can use any SIM card you want, right? Because when it's locked, when you buy a T-Mobile phone, it's locked to T-Mobile. When you buy an AT&T phone, it's locked to AT&T, meaning you can't use any other SIM card except AT&T or T-Mobile. Now, that Verizon card might be... Look, these SIM cards are mad old. Like, I have the old school Verizon logo on there, so it's unlocked because I showed you it accepts the AT&T SIM. I'm just trying a couple others, right? But it's definitely unlocked. Yep, it's unlocked. It said Verizon. You saw it? Where'd it go? Okay, so that SIM doesn't have any service on it, but it did show Verizon for a split second. It showed AT&T. Now let's try Google Fi. Do I have the right one in there? What the hell is going on? Actually, you know what? Oh, I have my Google Fi SIM card in my Pixel, but I'm using that to film. Okay, so there's Google Fi. Oh, picked it up, right? Because if it was locked, it would say SIM card not, it would give you a message that the device is unlocked. See? Google Fi. So that's a quick and now, again, if you're watching this video and you have a T-Mobile Samsung S24 series, S24 Plus, or S24 Ultra, I encourage you to do this as soon as possible. I can almost guarantee you that this will be patched with the February security patch that's coming out in just a few days. If you're watching this and it's past a few days, like if you're watching this in, let's say, 2 months from now, you can try it. You can try this method, but almost guarantee you they're in the T-Mobile offices today saying, "Oh shit, what happened?" So I guarantee you, literally as I'm recording this, I guarantee you the T-Mobile developers are writing new lines of code to patch this. It's just a glitch in their system that made it, unfortunately, into the final build of their software. Now, here's another tip real quick before we move on to the next topic. If you want to get rid of the T-Mobile bloatware, right? Because even though this is a T-Mobile phone, we unlocked it for any SIM card, you still have the T-Mobile bloatware. And what it is Samsung, like with this unlocked Samsung, you have One UI 6.1, right? Without bloatware, because this is the unlocked Samsung version. Well, each carrier has their own special build of One UI 6.1. Now, if you want to unlock this device, follow my simple procedure. And if you want to get rid of the bloatware, I'm going to make a video after this, and I'm going to show you how to get rid of the bloatware. However, it's not as easy as it is unlocking. It requires you to flash. This has the T-Mobile build of One UI 6.1. I'm going to show you how to flash the Samsung build of One UI 6.1 for this S24 Plus. It involves downloading Odin, and you got to download the Samsung drivers, and you have to download the actual firmware, the stock Samsung One UI 6.1 firmware that's specifically for the S24 Plus. But it's easy. It takes a few minutes, but I'll show you how to do that in another individual video. So if that interests you, because look, there's still, even though this is unlocked now, you still get bloatware and notifications like that. That's a T-Mobile notification. I don't want that on there. So I'm gonna walk you through how to flash the stock firmware Samsung One UI 6.1 for your device. So stay tuned, right? If that interests you, just stay tuned, and I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. All right, let me turn this light back on. We'll move on to the next topic. And if you got any questions whatsoever, hit me up in the comments, and I will definitely help you out with whatever you have or you need or you got questions on. Just let me know. I'm here to help. Let me turn this light back on. Give me a second. Okay. There we go. All right, so moving on to the next story. because this unlock deal ties in the having to do it quick is going to tie into one of our next stories, right? So moving on to updates, right? Well, it got official yesterday. News has come out of more information in regards to this update that we've been anticipating. This update is not only going to fix the saturation on your washed quote-unquote display. I don't believe mine has an issue. Mine looks freaking awesome, but some people said that theirs is not as vibrant. So Samsung has listened and is going to address that in this upcoming update. Now, Samsung has already put out the February update for a large majority of their previous flagship devices for the S23 series. Ultra got updated just the other day. S22, which is the overhead camera, was updated last week. So they've already pushed the February update. And that's why this February update's taking a few extra days for the S24 Ultra. They're not only putting in a fix for the T-Mobile unlock glitch, but they're also going to fix the screen. They're going to put in a new saturation mode where the toggle will be more accurate as far as if you increase, it'll let you have where it's at now. If you like the display where it's at now, have no worries. You can still have your same display after this February update. However, if you want a more saturated look, more vibrant colors, this February update will let you do that now as well. Now, they're also going to address some camera, not necessarily fixes, but improvements, I should say. Let's see. So in this article, we got, and I'll link this in the description. It's going to address the vividness slider in the display's advanced settings. And here's an example of the specific setting that they're going to address. And then camera enhancements. It says that they are going to provide upgrades to zoom functions and capabilities for portrait mode, night photography, the rear camera, video shooting capabilities, and more. Didn't really specify too much after that, but that I have seen personally, they mentioned it here, there's been some complaints about camera quality. I have seen a handful of those here and there on some threads, so this update will address those as well. It's a good thing about Android, right? In these specific, that's what I said when this device first launched. Don't let the claims of a washed out display or the claims of a not so good camera, don't let that discourage you from purchasing the device, right? All this is fixable, all of it, with a simple update, right? Especially if you're moving from an iPhone to a Samsung device such as this Ultra or the Plus. Look, Google and Samsung work hand in hand, and the Nothing Phone 2, perfect example of a Android device that got exponentially better with every single update. So if you like the phone, if you like the vibe of the Samsung, but you're kind of hesitant because you're seeing, the display is no good and the camera quality is not that good, they switched up too much stuff, bump all that. It'll be fixed and addressed in updates. So don't let that discourage you, right? This is I will vouch, these are freaking awesome devices, right? So Android gets better over time with every update, unlike Apple and iPhone, which has they've proven in court. Apple was found guilty of degrading iPhones over time because they want you to just buy a new one. Android's the opposite, right? I'm sure they would want you to buy their latest and greatest flagship, but if you want to hold on to this phone for 4 years, this is going to be a badass phone in 4 years. You can't say that about iPhone. You just can't. Now, when is this update going to come? Because this ties into the T-Mobile network unlock for the Samsung devices. Well, you're going to have about a week, 1 week, 7 days from now, starting tomorrow. The update will drop February 22nd, 2/22/24. So have no fear. The February security patch update will be here. February 22nd is the date. So hurry and unlock your phones if you have a T-Mobile Samsung device. And if you're unhappy, unsatisfied with your current Samsung device, a fix is coming in just a few short days, February 22nd. Okay, so we mentioned in a previous live stream that a lot of the AI features that Samsung introduced on the S24 series is going to come to older devices, right? The circle to search is not only on the Pixel now that Samsung introduced, it's also going to be seen on the S23 Ultra. There's a number of AI features that we mentioned in our previous live stream, and we got another one today that was announced. The instant slow-mo feature will roll out to more Samsung devices. Now, let's see which ones. Samsung's official community forum in South Korea revealed that the new feature, instant slow-mo video, will come to the S23 series. So the S23, no matter what carrier, if you have an S23, S23 Plus, or S23 Ultra, you will get the instant slow-mo feature. If you have a Galaxy Z Fold 5, you will get a slow-mo feature. Galaxy Z Flip 5 will get the feature, as well as the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 series with a future software update. I don't believe it'll be the February update, obviously, because those devices already got the February security patch. This will likely come in the March. I'm assuming March, at the very latest April, but I'm assuming March they'll push it out to these other devices. That's a pretty cool feature. I don't use it often, but it is cool because I guess no other phone can do that on their device. So you will definitely see this feature. You know what? Let me show you an example of what it looks like. Let's see if I can find a video here. Let's see. Nice. So this new S24 Samsung that was just released has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Phenomenal chipset. Phenomenal. Really enjoy it. It's very, very powerful. Has not overheated yet. And it's very battery efficient, right? Very, very battery efficient. But seems like it doesn't seem like it was just released. And now we have a sneak peek of what's in store for the next generation Snapdragon chips. So we got a little info on the new upcoming next year's flagship devices in the year after. So we got 2025 information on Snapdragon's flagship CPU, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4, and 2026 flagship Snapdragon CPU, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5. Nice and small chip, very powerful, right? So it says the cores and clusters, how this is built of the two processors, amongst other things. It will have the same CPU cluster. Now I'm assuming same as the 8 Gen 3. It's probably just going to be more powerful and more efficient. Both are said, meaning the Gen 4 and Gen 5 Snapdragon 8 series, both of them utilize the same 2+6 CPU cluster that you see in the current Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Oh no, I apologize. So this current Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is using a 5. I was thinking, is that right? A Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is using a 5+3+1 CPU cluster. That makes sense because I reported last week that they were not going to be using a prime core anymore. So the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 and Gen 5 is going to be on a 2+6 CPU cluster instead of a 5+3+1 prime core CPU clusters that's in the current Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Now, what does that mean in layman's terms? I mean, not much. I mean, it should be more efficient. Look, they know what they're doing, obviously, so they know the best road that they want to go down as far as how they construct them. It says Qualcomm is planning to go the MediaTek route with its two upcoming processors. The company might ditch the efficiency cores altogether. As a previously rumor stated, the 8 Gen 4 is said to bring improved efficiency, though. Now that Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 and 8 Gen 5 will feature a different CPU cores, the 8 Gen 4 is said to use the Phoenix cores, while the 8 Gen 5 will utilize the Pegasus CPU cores. So how that works basically is you'll have certain cores like the 8 Gen 3, the current 8 Gen 3, it's got a 5+3+1 CPU cluster. So they'll have basically 5 main cores. You'll have 3 efficiency cores, and you'll have 1 prime core. So the first set of 5 cores is the handles your intermediary processes on your device. The 3 efficiency cores handle the device like when it's like this, when the screen is off, or when the always on display is on, when there's not much going on, when it's charging overnight while you're asleep. Those 3 cores will take over and do all the processing. Very, very little power used with those efficiency cores. That's why they're called efficiency cores. And then that +1 core, so the 5+3+1, that one final remaining core is the performance core. That one's like turbocharged core. So whenever you're gaming, whenever you're probably shooting 4K, 8K video, that's the core. That's basically the turbo booster, where that handles all these super high demand processes that put a lot of stress on your phone. So it's interesting to see that they are switching it up. But as I mentioned earlier, look, they got a long history of making really solid chips, so they obviously know what they're doing, right? What other news do we have? Okay, here we go. The 8 Gen 4 will be manufactured using TSMC's 3 nanometer process. The 8 Gen 5 will be utilizing the Samsung's 2 nanometer process. Lord have mercy. So the nanometer is basically like the foundation of the chip. As I kind of described these chips, if you can imagine a house being built, the foundation is the nanometer. That's like the foundation of the home, which is the base of the chip. How big it is. Nano is small, meter is length or distance. So that just goes to tell you. Now, when they reduce the size, when they go from, it seems like we've kind of gotten to a slowdown, right? Because I remember when these things used to be like 14 nanometers, then the next year it'd be 13, then the year after that they moved down to 12, and then 11, and then to 10, then 9. Well, I was wondering like a couple years ago, damn, they're gonna have to hit a stale point, because there's no way they're gonna go like 3, 2, 1, 0 nanometers, because then there would be no CPU, right? So we've been on 3 nanometers for probably 2 years now, and it looks like we'll probably be on 2 nanometers for probably 2 or 3 years. That's the next step in the process foundation of these chips. And obviously you can go down to 1, I'm assuming. I'm not a chip designer. And obviously you can't go to 0. Now, when you reduce the nanometers, when you reduce the foundation of these chips, it gets smaller, right? So technically the efficiency gets better, because if you think of engines, if you think of a big truck engine and a little car engine, the little car engine is more efficient, meaning if you translate that back to technology, it'll run cooler, it's smaller, more efficient. Now, on the flip side, with every generation, these are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but more powerful and more powerful and more powerful. So when does that, on the chart graph, when do those intersect and it become a problem? Because you have to include heat dissipation, right? The higher performing, just like in a Formula One engine, if you crank it up all the way, it's going for a long time. You redline it, it's going to overheat and it's going to damage the engine. Similar to these, you don't want the chip, your device, to overheat. So when you have a smaller foundation, it's harder to dissipate the heat, which is why you see more companies like OnePlus and Samsung increase their cooling systems, whether it's OnePlus's vapor chambers or Samsung increased the cooling efficiency inside here by 91% over last year. And that's for a reason. That's because these chips are getting smaller, more powerful, and when you have power, you get heat. Heat is no good, so you need to get rid of it. And their R&D teams have found really genius ways to get rid of that heat, basically. So I'll keep an eye on this. I know this is like super nerd. I really nerd out on this stuff. So I know it may not interest a lot of viewers, but I'm glued to this stuff. So well, it'll be we'll keep an eye on this for a while, because as I mentioned, they're going to be on 3 nanometers for another year or two. Well, I guess for another year, and it looks like they're going to utilize Samsung's 2 nanometer process after that. And we shall see what happens. I can't wait to see what they have up their sleeve. I'm really liking this 8 Gen 3 chip. It's really good. It's really good. So we're going to do benchmarking tests. I'm going to upload those videos probably tomorrow, do some performance testing with these, and stay tuned. Check our videos out tomorrow on the performance end of this 8 Gen 3, and I'll show you what this chip can handle. Okay, now a very interesting piece of information came out, right? I was reading the news this morning, not necessarily for this live stream, but just seeing what's going on in the world. And I came across a very interesting story, and I was like, you know what? That's exactly why I try to be as honest as possible here on our eSIM Studios YouTube channel. I don't promote anything I wouldn't use. I don't promote anything that I don't think you would use, or I don't promote anything that would put you, the viewer, in jeopardy. As you know, I don't read scripts on my videos, which, you know, could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you look at it, really. But a lot of these YouTube channels, you really have to kind of use your imagination, maybe think a step or two further, try to, you know, a lot of these YouTube channels are scripted, just as TV shows are. They're told what to say and when to say it, and I didn't want to do that with our YouTube channel, right? So why do I bring that up? Well, let me show you why. This article states an alarming 80%, so 8 out of 10 quote-unquote influencers aren't disclosing SpawnCon per new report. What is SpawnCon? Sponsored content. Remember this number when you start trusting an influencer on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. Look, I don't consider myself an influencer. I don't know like how many subscribers you have to be considered an influencer. I don't know. I don't really know the definition of that, but if and when I do get to that point, I'm still going to have my foundation of thoughts intact and on full mast throughout the life of this channel. They're saying that a lot of people, influencers, whenever we get a spot, like look, my Ringke cases, all the cases I have down here, whenever I record a video and upload it to YouTube, there in YouTube Studio, behind the scenes, there's a little box I have to check off that says it's a promotion, and it says in the fine print, any item or service that was given to you, whether there was monetary gain or not. If any item given to you or service that you're promoting, you have to check this box, and that lets YouTube know basically how to two things. It lets YouTube know how to allocate certain ads when the viewer is viewing your video, or it also notifies you, the viewer, that hey, there is a sponsored item, a sponsored service in this video somewhere, just so you have knowledge that hey, something was given to the creator, whether for free or paid. So just beware, basically, not beware, but just a FYI for your information. And then you can take that information back, then you have to decipher what you're watching, the content. Are they just telling me that this is a good service because they really believe it? Or are they telling me it's a good service because they were paid 20 grand? Right? That type of stuff. So this report is saying, SpawnCon, that is sponsored content. This report is saying that influencers are not basically well, specifically for YouTube, are not checking that box, which pops up when you click on a video and it is a sponsored content. You'll see on the very top right of the video it says, I don't know, paid promotion or something, to let you know, the viewer, I need to think twice about what they're saying and or what they're presenting to me. These content creators are not checking that box, so that sponsored content on the top right of the video is not popping up. So you, the viewer, think that what the influencer or content creator is saying, he's saying, right? There's no money behind it. There's no free gift behind it. There's no kickbacks behind it. So you're more likely to believe a content creator when there is no paid sponsorship on the screen. It's just a human fact. So this report was done in the European Union. The new EU report suggests that 80% of influencers fail to disclose every time they release sponsored content. Sponsored content, aka SponCon. The report screened 576 influencers and found that 97% posted sponsored content, but only 20% reliably reported it as advertising. Additionally, 119 influencers in the study promoted unhealthy or hazardous activities. Read that again. Let's read that again. 119 influencers in the study, out of 576, 119 of them promoted unhealthy and or hazardous activities. And now you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean? Like what? Well, isn't there there's an energy drink that, what's his name? One of the Logan Paul, or I don't know what the brothers' names are, but one of those guys have a energy drink. And I saw a news article and or a YouTube video just describing everything that's in that energy drink and how bad it is for you. I mean, it has chemicals on chemicals on chemicals up in there. Not to mention, like 8, I think, was it 8? It was 6 or 8. I think maybe it was 6. 6 times the caffeine intake of your daily recommended caffeine intake. 6 times that, which is not healthy, and especially when it's got all those chemicals in there. Some of them are natural, but some of them are not. So, look, if you have an energy drink every single day, it's probably not the best choice. Now, that means basically hazardous activities. That's the first thing that or first example I could think of. And obviously unhealthy, it would fall under that category as well. So, let's see. Sometimes we assume something to be true based on simply existing in the world, but having an official study done to prove our assumptions is always helpful. That's true. For example, everyone reading this probably assumes that influencers on social media and YouTube are lying a lot about the purpose of some of the content they create, but now there's an official report to prove it. Let's see. 4 out of 5 influencers. I guess they don't select that sponsored content in the YouTube studio. I don't know if there's I believe there is on Instagram, there is an option. I'm trying to think. There is an option to select for sponsored content. Yes, there is. I had to think in my head. TikTok, I have no idea. I'm not into TikTok. I tried it for a while and it's just not me. But I don't know how they're going to go about fixing this. YouTube would have to crack down, but then it's kind of hard because how do you know if a content creator is just saying it because they believe it or they're saying it because they were paid to say it? I've been shipped free items, free cases, and I have been critical. The design of the case, or you know, stuff like that. So I try to be as honest as possible, and I let our partners know that as well. I've had a number of items that have been shipped to me and just not feeling it, so that's why you haven't seen anything about it. So very interesting. Just, you know, whatever you're watching, just please think twice about stuff. I try to be authentic as possible here on the channel. As I mentioned before, it's the only way I know how to do it. I could be like a robot out here and write a script for every single video, but again, as I've mentioned before, that's just not me. So please think twice whenever you see something. Or, you know what's funny? I had a damn, what phone company was it? It was a Chinese phone company. Sorry, I'm out of frame. It was a Chinese phone company, and it wasn't Poco. It wasn't Realme. It was a brand I've heard of, but very little. Like, you just hear their name maybe once or twice every couple years. It was a Chinese phone manufacturer. They reached out, contacted me, said, hey, we want you to be a spokesperson or one of the spokespersons for our new phone that's coming out. Blah, 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 blah. And I replied back, yeah, cool. That's okay. Like, sure. Like, let me know. So basically asking for more details, right? Because it was kind of vague. And you really have to watch out because there's a lot of scams going on behind the scenes that target YouTubers and stuff like that. So I'm always very, very cautious to begin with. But I was like, sure, well, you know, what you got? And they responded with, okay, here's our new phone, here's all the specs that's coming out, and we want you to read this script that we have written for you. And they're not even going to send me the phone. I was going to read the script, and then I was going to edit B-roll. B-roll's like footage that you take to kind of fill in. Like, if I did a B-roll right now while you're watching me talk, I would put pictures of a Pixel 9 video up, which is kind of like secondary content while you're either listening to the main content. So they were going to have, while I was reading the script, they were going to roll pictures, they were going to roll videos of it in somebody's hand, like looking face down, kind of like this. Watch. So basically, I was not going to be there. It was going to be me reading the script, and then me, or not me, somebody else, like playing with the phone and while it would be me reading it, and then it would go back to me in my face at the end. So it would be me, and then when you would hear me talk, but it would show the phone, this and that, and then it would cut back to me for the last few seconds. Damn, that sounds really shady. Like, they were not going to send me the phone. So I was like, well, why would I do that? Yeah, so no, I politely declined that one. Y'all would be amazed at the stuff that we get presented with. And we're a relatively new channel. I could only imagine what like people like Flossie Carter and people like that get that have over 1 million or 2 million subscribers. I bet they're crazy. I bet yeah. So okay, before we get out of here, so moral of the story is be cautious, use your brain. When you see sponsored content, think in the back of your mind, is what they're telling you true? And I'll promise you that I will always be truthful in regards to what we are putting out on YouTube. I can promise you that. Okay, so before we get out of here, I have a sneak peek. Of the new Pixel 9 Pro. Do you remember that leak came out right around the time that this phone was coming out? Samsung S24 Plus and S24 Ultra. So the leak came out on purpose, right? The leaks don't come out on accident. Google leaked some promo stuff. Now, we have a new leak, and it gives you a nice broad look from different angles of their new Pixel 9 series. Now, it appears to be the Pixel 9 Pro, and we have it in different colors. It's a actual video. I mean, not a in-hand video. It's obviously computer generated, made kind of like a commercial type deal, but we got it nonetheless, right? So I edited some of it so I don't get a in the future a copyright strike, because damn, I was gonna pull the name of that creator that I got a copyright strike from. Can't remember. Whatever. So let's run this little commercial. Tell me what you think. Hang on, let me run it. Alright, I got it. You ready? It looks so cool, man. I cannot wait for this phone. Watch this. Y'all see that? That's pretty cool. Man, I cannot wait for that. We were invited to the Pixel 8 launch. We did not go, and I got my fingers crossed, Google, made by Google, that you will invite us again for the Pixel 9 launch. Cannot wait for that to get released. I'm so happy, ecstatic, you could say, that they chose to design their phones with these flat edges. I absolutely love it. It's basically a dream come true, because I've always, yes, you're going to hear it, you cannot deny it, it looks similar to an iPhone, but my opinion is, who freaking cares? It looks awesome. I don't care. It looks awesome. I don't care. It looks awesome. I've always liked the way iPhones look. I just hate using them. Now, you get that same design language on devices that I love to use. So I think it's a no-brainer. As far as the design, you get these squared off edges. You get a camera bar that's similar to the Pixel Fold camera bar, where it does not reach the sides. It's an individual island on the back of the phone, and I think it looks gorgeous. My God, does that look good. So we'll be interested to see. Tomorrow, I'm going to pull the roadmap. I don't have time now. Tomorrow, we'll dive into what we think that they are going to release. We're going to dive into, are they going to release a, now remember, there, it looks like they're doing a Pixel 8a this year. But I will give you a sneak peek of what their Pixel roadmap says. And now this goes into the future, their plans for Pixel for the next, I think, 4 or 5 years. And it looks like they're going to release 3 phones this year, right? But is it going to be a Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, and then Pixel 9a? Maybe. Now they're still going to release the 8a. So is the A series going to be released in July like it normally is, and then in September release a Pixel 9, Pixel 9a, Pixel 9 Pro? Stay tuned. Oh, it's no problem, man. Hey, we had a really good first couple topics that you can always catch the replay. It's no problem. Yeah, man. God, it looks nice. It looks so. The Pixel, I'm assuming you're saying. Hopefully it is as comfy to hold as the Pixel 7 Pro, Pixel 8 Pro. Sharp edges look nice, but not always comfy depending on the brand. Very, very true. And you know what? Even iPhone has tweaked that design to fit more comfortable in your hand. And specifically for the iPhone this year, the iPhone 15. So what they did was almost make it like a capital J, where the edge of the screen is a 90-degree angle, right? Basically a right angle at the top. However, when you flip it over, on the back side, from the side to the back, is slightly rounded. Like I said, like a capital J. And it still looks flat, right? It still looks like you have flat edges. You can have a completely flat side where you can stand it up. They just, instead of a 90-degree angle, they just curved it just a few degrees. And just that few degrees of a change makes a big difference in how you hold it. So Daniel is 1000% correct. It's going to be interesting to see how they design this phone. Where is my Nothing phone? I got it right here, I think, because that's what Nothing did. I was just examining these just the other day, so it's funny you mentioned that. So with the Nothing phone, you get a complete right angle, a 90-degree angle from the screen to the side, right? You flip it around to the back, and it's hard to tell with this damn focus here. Maybe the overhead camera will show it better. You see how that's curved? Do I have a pen or something I can point? You see how this is curved? Sorry, I'm still getting used to having an overhead camera. You see how that's slight? It's not a true right angle, 90-degree angle. It's just ever so slightly, just a couple degrees curved. Whereas the front, it's a flat, traditional 90-degree angle. And it makes a big difference on how you hold it. Because on their phone 1, it was a 90-degree angle on the front, 90-degree angle on the back. And this is more comfortable to hold because of that slight variation on the back side. And you can kind of tell with this glass display that it just drops off just very, very, very slightly on the back. And again, I hope Pixel does the same thing because this is a very, very, very comfortable phone to hold. Now, with Samsung did not do that. It looks like they have a 90-degree angle. Shit, where am I? They have a 90, here's the front. They have a 90-degree angle right here from the side to the front. And on the back, it looks like a 90-degree angle as well. And that's one of the things that, like you mentioned, Daniel, the Pixel 7 Pro and the Pixel 8 Pro, I'm actually using my 8 Pro's webcam. It's curved, right? Slightly, but it is. And it's very, very comfortable to hold. The 7 Pro was too. I think this one feels even better, honestly. But you're right. 7 Pro is nice to hold as well. So, God, I can't wait for this thing to come out. It's going to be awesome. So tomorrow we will review the roadmap of their plans, basically, for the next few years. I think next 4 years, something like that. But I'll review that tonight. I've had that document for a few months. Just now's the perfect time to review and just see what they have up their sleeve. Now, could change. That's what they have in store right now. But as you know, Google changes stuff, right? They axe programs in the middle of them. They'll change the name of something at the last minute. So that's what they have planned at the moment. and it could change for the future, but at the moment we will review their Pixel roadmap tomorrow. I don't have any time today, but tomorrow we'll definitely review that, and I'll have a couple other stories as well. But that'll do it. If you miss anything, like Daniel mentioned here, you can always catch the replay. I'm also going to edit this video and cut some of the more higher interest topics and release them as individual videos, so you don't have to sit there and scroll through the replay of this, so you can just get right to the point. So I'll upload a couple of those today for y'all, so you can get, we reviewed the, check this out. We reviewed this. They found, and I tested it, and it works. There is a glitch in the T-Mobile Samsung S24 series devices where you can factory unlock the phone. And it works. I tested it on this one. It's unlocked now. So I showed the process of how to do that for our first topic. Second topic, we rolled into the Samsung update that's coming out. That's going to fix the quote-unquote washed display. And it's going to have camera improvements that we found out what camera improvements those are. And it's going to come out on February the 22nd. So just here in about a week that will be released. We also mentioned the instant slow-mo is coming to older Samsung devices. We reviewed the Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 and 8 Gen 5. The differences, the similarities, and how they are going to structure those clusters and all that good stuff. You can basically nerd out like I do on that stuff. And then we got this. The news report that 80% of influencers are lying. Well, I shouldn't say lying. They're just not being truthful, I guess. But anyways, we dove into that, and we finished up with the Pixel 9 video. So I appreciate the time, and as always, I will see you tomorrow. If you got any questions, any comments, any concerns, please hit me up in the comments. I check them every day. And stay tuned tomorrow. We'll go through the Pixel roadmap for the future and try to break down and see just how many Pixel devices they're planning on releasing this year. I don't know. I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say 3. Let's hit that leak one more time and we'll get out of here. All right. So appreciate you joining us, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.